A warm welcome to all present here today for the Changemaker 20 Summit, where visionaries and change agents unite to catalyze global transformation. Through collaboration and innovation, we embark on a journey to address challenges, inspire action, and forge a path to a brighter tomorrow. Together, we shape the future we aspire to see. So, distinguished guests and esteemed participants, I am Anupma Thakur, and with great pleasure, I introduce you to our esteemed speaker with over 30 years of development expertise. Mr. Pawan Kumar is a distinguished professional renowned for steering diverse development projects across agriculture, horticulture, forestry, and more. His leadership spans engagements with government bodies, NGOs, and global agencies such as World Bank, IFAD, JICA, and GIZ, predominantly with mountainous regions, armed with a postgraduate degree in agriculture and environmental sciences from GB Pant University, Uttarakhand. He blends academic prowess with practical insights, currently spearheading the Patanjali Farmer Samriddhi program. He has impacted over 1 lakh farmers across 18 states, instilling knowledge on organic farming. His commitment extends to daily online engagement through Yoga Har, while his multifaceted engagement with Patanjali underscores his holistic approach to sustainable development. Get ready for an engaging and thought-provoking experience. Before we begin with the session, I would like to share a brief about Mr. Rakesh Malhotra, sir. Having accumulated more than 4 decades of experience in the development sector, Rakesh Malhotra possesses extensive skills in areas such as policy advocacy, strategy planning, and project management. He served with NABARD for 22 years, championing poverty alleviation, microfinance, and rural financial institution strengthening. His 5 year stint with UNDP focused on financial literacy and governance. Furthermore, if there are any aspects, Rakesh sir, I have overlooked regarding Pawan sir, please feel free to share them with everyone. Sir, please take the stage, and without further ado, let's commence this invigorating exchange of ideas. Over to you, Rakesh sir.
Thank you, Anupma, for the very kind words and introducing the expert speaker also. It is a privilege for me and this event also, summit also, that we have a Pawan Kumar with us today. He is a man of action, worked at the ground since I think last more than 30 years. And right now he's working with Patanjali. Instead of my speaking more about what he does, let us first of all listen from Pawan himself. That what are the initiatives or innovations which Pawan is taking at Patanjali with special reference to organic farming, or anything else which Pawan would like to share, so that the audience will come to know that what is happening at Patanjali. Yes, please, Pawan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Rakesh Malhotra, and thank you also for Anupma for giving a very nice presentation. And I work for Patanjali, and I have been working here for the last 5 years. And before that, my journey has been with the non-profit sector. Around 11 years, I worked with an NGO and stayed in a village. And from there, because of God's grace, there was opportunity to work with a government project and in this multilateral, bilateral agencies, working with the government and for 15 years. And so that is how the journey has been very broadly. So, and there have been various activities that I have been involved in, agriculture being the least of them as part of my journey. I got involved in various programs which were totally unknown to me. I had not studied anything about them, but probably because of some divine grace, I got an opportunity to work on very diverse sectors, even while working with NGOs and also with the government. So I'd like to share my screen on what I am going to speak today is, just a minute, I'll just see what is there. Change Maker Summit, just a minute. The window, entire screen, just a minute. I think I'll have to show that screen first. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so you can see my screen now. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so the topic which has been given to me is nurturing nature exploring the essence of natural and organic farming. Before I start, telling what we are doing, I'd like to say that this is a very important and a very fascinating, words which are there. Nurturing nature. What do we mean by nature? How can we nurture it? So, and what are we doing, and who's doing this work? So, straight away coming to because you see, after the Green Revolution, after the 60s and 70s, particularly, there has been on the challenges that were faced around that time, the challenges of food security. Now, after 50 years, 60 years of that work which has been done, now a realization is very coming to the forefront on the ecological aspects, the environmental aspects, the climate change, and the various things that we have been doing, playing around with nature, and leading to some disastrous results. A sequence of activities, and at the center of all this change, it has been the human being. It is the humanity, the person, the who have been driving this change, maybe for the better and maybe in many cases for the worse. But when we look at farming, the first thing that comes to our mind is who's doing farming. So obviously the answer is that the farmer is involved. But even when we look at the farmer, we look into what has happened so far. So as I was saying, from the 60s, there has been a shift from a conventional this thing based on our learnings. The move is now the mood of the government, the mood of the environmentalists, and also the mood of the public, gradually moving in from organic to conventional to organic to natural farming. And so the questions are, what have we achieved so far? What has worked well? What are the learnings? What are the risks and challenges? What could be the way ahead? What is the role of the farmer in the way ahead? How do you visualize the farmer? Who is this person? How do we uh, look at him? And there are various peoples who are looking at the farmer, and what is it that we can learn from his experiences, because this nature, the nurturing of the nature, playing with the nature on a daily basis, is being done by the farmer. We as working as we living in cities are very much appreciative when we once in a while go to the natural areas or to the forest or to a stream and say, "Okay, how beautiful it is." But the farmer is tilling the soil every day. He's working on the soil. He's modifying the soil. He's modifying the water. And there are other stakeholders who are also making some impact, whether good or bad. But at the end of it, we are all seeing that uh, because of conventional farming, because of the use of pesticides and fertilizers, especially the chemical fertilizers and the chemical this thing, there has been a lot of realization is gradually creeping in, that what have we done so far. So this today's discussions and my sharing of experiences will be revolving around what we are doing, what we as Patanjali has been trying to do, and to address some of these issues of natural and organic farming. Uh, and uh, and this set of questions that I have posed have been written to bring to the forefront that this is a very important set of questions that we realized that we started working when we started working on this field around 5 years ago. What has been done so far? What can we do differently? And what is it? How do we visualize the farmer? Who is the farmer? And because there are, even when we start going deep into some of these questions, there are new set of questions which are emerging, and these set of questions are also guiding us. They are also trying to find ways, the pathways for our role in the future as human beings, our role in nature, our role as responsible citizens, our role as stakeholders, whether it is the government or whether it is enablers or whether it's a line department or whether it's a buyer, a consumer, or whether it's a intermediary who's transporting the produce from one place to another. So gradually the realization is that we started moving from conventional approaches towards organic farming. And even then, because of as we went ahead, there are some learnings. And now the mood of the government and many stakeholders, we are moving towards natural farming. Soon, the national mission on natural farming is going to be launched. And I was there today as part of the workshop, stakeholder workshop. And as we said, that organic farming, it is an agricultural system that uses ecological. It is an ecological based system, but it also uses the last line in this section, biofertilizers and biopesticides, which are industrially made. On the other hand, the natural farming is an ecological farming approach, which has been the most celebrated person has been the Fukuoka. And gradually, this is shifting towards natural farming, zero budget farming, promoted by Subhash Palekar, and four principles of Bijamrit, seed treatment using local cow dung and cow urine, Jivamrit, which is again, it's an inoculation using local cow dung and urine. No other fertilizers or pesticides are added. Mulching is done, and Vapsa is the soil aeration so that the soil is, maintained, the soil quality is maintained. And your input costs of the farmer are also minimized to a very large extent. So this is a brief description of the, both these approaches. And so in Patanjali, I think most of us, most of you will be aware of Patanjali, the work that we are doing. It has been largely focused on yoga and wellness, which is now global. This thing every year, the International Day of Yoga has been celebrated. So as part of our activities, we started this Patanjali Farmer Samriddhi program, where a farmer to farmer based extension approach was tried on a large scale with thousands of farmers. 72,000 farmers got trained, and they were trained, very importantly, not by us. They were trained by these 900 trainer farmers. We identified 900 farmers. They went through a process of training and assessment, and out of that, who passed, they in turn trained the farmers in their respective villages and tried to continue the interactions with them without thinking that this is just a project or this is a time bound activity. So even when the project, it was a project, but even when the project was over, many of these trainers continue to work. And these are some activities of the field based training in the setting of the community, where the farmers are getting there's a lecture session going on. There'll be some practical sessions. There'll be some at the end of the day when the exam is taken by a third party, then the certification is happening. And this is how we are moving ahead. And so this training, assessment, certification, training, the assessment is done by an external party, as I said. So no conflict. And the farmers are also taking a pledge to promote, to practice organic and natural farming. So I'm just moving around. So to complement what we are doing at the field level, through training, through practical experiences, knowledge sharing, this whole set of documentation in multiple languages on training and capacity building has been done. And every farmer who has passed will definitely get a book of this thing. We also were able to document the learnings of our program. And what we have also been trying to do is that we made these publications on what we call a listen to the farmer. We have to listen to the farmer of what he's doing, what are his experiences. And also this document also shares some of the work. So again, our stalwarts have been Swami Ramdev ji and Acharya Balakrishna, who have been our guiding force for this work that we have been doing. So some publications we have brought out on various aspects of agriculture and especially organic and natural farming. We also were able to conduct external assessment of the work that we did, and even now, and now coming to this tool which we have been discussing very briefly. This is the Patanjali. This is the snakes and ladders game, and this snakes and ladders game is looking at all the the principles of organic farming, the activities that the farmer and the trainer farmer, the master farmer is doing, and the as you know, the activities which are coded in red has got a snake's head on top. So any activity which is negative, which is creating a negative impact on the principles of organic and natural farming, and you come down to another level. And any activity which was helping promote organic and natural farming is the ladder. So on 40, ladder number 40, you do the.
Pawanji, sorry for interrupting. We are still seeing the slide number 1.
Oh, but I have moved ahead, sir, to the snakes and.
That's what
Sorry.
that's what I was trying to. So that, yeah, that is now we are
Okay,
in that
okay, okay.
slide.
I had put it on full screen. Oh, sorry. Okay,
Anyhow,
okay.
so we can, anyhow.
So I can continue on this the snakes
Yeah,
and
yeah, so
ladders.
please do.
So the snakes and
Yeah,
ladders is the thing that we have been doing for communicating with the farmers. This is an icebreaker. This is not a game that we want that it should be finished and done with it. This is a game where the ice breaking with our farmers is happening, and I'll share with you the slide of how we are connecting with the farmers through this thing. So as I said, that this snake, the ladder is something which is taking you forward when you are practicing organic and natural farming. The snake's head is something where you go and you have to come down because there's some negative thing which has been done. Why this thing is important is that you see that when you look at the farmer, which I said in the first slide, is that how do you visualize the farmer? What has he done in these so many years of the green revolution coming in? So many people have come to the villages as development practitioners, as line department agencies, as persons who want to do some rural development activity, and every one of them have spoken differently to the farmer. And so the farmer is confused. In some cases, he is confused. He is also very smart. The farmer is also very smart. He listens to every one of us and starts speaking the same language. That if I go and say, okay, I am doing water conservation, he'll say, yes, there is a lot of scarcity of water in our villages. Nobody has come so far to our village, and you are the first one to come and do this work. Similarly, if somebody goes and says, I want to do, another thing on education, for example, he says, yes, the status of education of our children is very, very poor. Please come and do something because you are the first one actually who has come in. Earlier, people have come in, but they have not been able to make an impact. So that has been the response of the farmers in many cases where I have interacted with them. And only after some time, when we are really looking and interacting with the communities on a much wider this thing with a much more understanding, that we are able to realize that what the farmer is doing. So to gather all his experiences, good and bad, this is one of the tools that we are using. There are other tools as well that we have been trying to use from time to time, and this is an icebreaker, because the beginning is that at least we have to start from somewhere, that we are able to get the experiences of the farmers in a group, preferably, and ask him what has been his experience, what are his good experiences, what are the instances of the experiences which have not been so good. So this tool is a guiding force of ice breaking and making the farmer think a bit about what has been done so far, without saying that what are we going to do. So I just come to the slide, which is the second slide, where some of our team members are trying to communicate with the farmers, trying to facilitate the farmers on this aspect of breaking the ice, and trying to bring about an understanding of what are we doing and what is it that our vision is there collectively. So when these 15, 20 or 4 people are there and discussing, after some time they realize and they start speaking the truth. And once they start speaking the truth, our interventions can be designed more appropriately. That has been our experiences. So we need facilitators who are able to facilitate, who are able to sit on the ground, who are able to discuss with the farmers on the various aspects of the things that we have written. So like the first thing on number slide on the box number 1 is that the first thing is developed an understanding of organic farming in the entire household. My entire household has developed an understanding of organic farming. So when we say that we start with this thing, so immediately there has to be a group discussion saying that what is the importance of doing it collectively? Why should the entire family understand what is organic farming? So once we start, questioning like this, instead of just playing the game, I think you see what happens is that different people give different responses. And so the role of the moderator, the facilitator who's communicating with these farmers becomes very important, that he or she is able to moderate the session and come to a common understanding. And as we move ahead by rolling the dice, we are able to, get an understanding of the other aspects which have been written in this in various boxes, good or bad, and start discussing on their experiences, on their learnings and their responses to a particular situation which they have gone through. So this is how we are able to facilitate and energize the farmers. So I'm just moving ahead to the next slide because I can keep on going, and for every box there's so many learnings that we have. So, in fact, even for the natural farming, we are talking of Jivamrit, Ganjivamrit, the Bijamrit, and the pest nutrient and the pest management practices. So even this, the ingredients and how to prepare it is done in a very simple way, and it is put in a large 4 feet by 3 feet big this thing, so that the farmer is able to. We can discuss each of these topics theoretically first with the farmer, and then after that we also do a practical exercise with him. So we simplify things through images, and we simplify these things through something which the farmer can also capture in his mobile phones, or he can discuss that I don't have this ingredient, so what can I do? And so there'll be a question answer session, and so on and so forth. I'll come again to this thing of simplifying things. This is another thing that we have been doing for the last 837 days now. 838 days, today was the 838 days continuously. And this slide, this photograph, this slide shows that people are physically present. So on the this Yoga Har program, I'll share a bit, is an online program which is conducted every day from 5:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time to around 8 o'clock every day. Between 5:30 to 7 o'clock, there's the yoga teachers are there who come in and who share their practices of yoga for 1.5 hours. And every day a new yoga teacher is coming. So you can imagine for the last 800 plus days, rarely have been their repetitions. And so a new yoga teacher comes in from different parts of the country, sometimes even from abroad, and they share their experiences, and they share this 1.5 hour of yoga classes. After this, from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and sometimes the session goes on till 9 o'clock also, these farmers who are the participants from various states get to listen to a new person every day. This new person could be a farmer. Well, 70% of the instances are farmers, but they are also renowned people. We have got 17 Padam Shris till now. We have got people from the administrative services. We have got people who are working in some institution. So, and this slide is there of the 835 days of various themes that we are celebrating almost on a daily basis. Sometimes on the 500th day, we celebrated on traditional seeds. On some day, we celebrated on soil and nutrient management, for example. Another day, we celebrated on some other, topic on seeds maybe, or some other work. And so this is an online classes which is happening every day. Farmers are joining from across various states of the country, and there are interested people who join. It's a voluntary program. It's a program which is without any hierarchy, no uh, big, small, all that. And the moderators are volunteers across this thing. And so on the 525th day, the farmer said, we want to meet and we want to celebrate together. So we said, how can we do that? So they said, we are making arrangements. So this 525th day was a very special day because the farmers made arrangements for 100 people who came in from across the country. They made arrangements for their stay. They made arrangements for their fooding. And we also did a bit of facilitation. We went for a 1 day trip to the farms of 2 or 3 farmers. They made our fooding arrangements at the farm. They showed us what they are doing, and they showed us, us means us as volunteers, as this thing, and also farmers from other states. So this is an ongoing program which is enthusiastically happening across, and getting to speak, listen to a new person every day gives us many new learnings. I think we are, frankly speaking, we have not been able to uh, you know uh, get hold of all the learnings that has happened so far. If you look at all the learnings, were we able to assimilate all of it? Probably no. Nobody would have been able to assimilate because there is such a huge this thing. And I was wondering, well, in this change maker event, I can bring in 30, 40 people, farmers, who can speak at length on their experiences at some point in time. With Dr. Malhotra and the team, maybe something can be discussed, and I can bring in. And some of our farmers are really champion farmers. They have, been able to. Last week, they've been able to speak at this national forum and speak at length on their experiences. So we feel that the listening to the farmer is very important. And so this yoga teachers, as I said, 70% will be women, ranging from as young as 9 years old to someone as old as 82 years of age, have been conducting yoga classes. As I said, a new person is coming in every day, and because of that, our own yoga practice becomes fine tuned. And so this is another very important thing that we have been doing, and because it is voluntary, there's a lot of energy around this program. We also did a pledge and resolutions on the 525th Yoga Hour, which was read out by the farmers themselves and us as participants. And so the element of the resolution is, what is our contribution going to be? The pledge was read by farmers, and they said, what are we going to contribute for the cause of organic and natural farming? It was not that government should be doing this thing or giving us this much subsidy and all that. And this is something that we discussed at length before this resolution was made. We had a couple of settings. We had at least a dozen settings, sometimes as late as 9 o'clock in the night or even 10 in the night, with the farmers joining in virtually and discussing what they are going to make as part of the resolution. It becomes a very important aspect of breaking the mindset of continuously asking what the government is going to do for them, and to change the paradigm of what they are going to contribute towards nature and what they are going to contribute for knowledge sharing. How are they going to contribute to the well-being of other farmers in various parts of the country whenever the opportunity is arising? How can they be moving ahead and working together in their own respective districts, states, wherever they are working, and how they can be working together in their own respective farms. So this is something, a very process oriented work that we are able to do as part of that. And even sometimes we do a revision of what was the resolution made. And so in once every 2 months, this entire pledges reread by the farmers themselves, and any question answers, and the progress is monitored. Again, voluntary program. Another very important thing that we tried to innovate was this case study. You see, when we started working with the government, and I worked with the government for many years, every time, whenever something is happening, somebody says that give us case studies, give us case studies, we want case studies. So when this request came from the government, we said we'll do the case studies, we'll do it differently. So this case studies, our team made the team case studies. On the left hand side, it is the team. And so we said we'll get it validated. And so in our morning webinars, morning classes of the yoga har, for 15 days or 14 days continuously, every day 10 case studies of the farmers were read by our staff in the presence of the farmer whose case study is being made. And then after a 4-minute time frame was given to the team. After that, 1 minute was given to the farmer to come live and share whether what has been said about his case is correct or not, or whether there is any change that he feels should be done. So that is how we compiled this case studies. In the second round, which is with interns, we had this interns from one of the agriculture universities. They were given the same task and assignment, and they read out these 40 case studies in 2 days in the presence of their faculty from where they had come, and also in the presence of their parents, whoever wished to join, and in the presence of the farmer who also said, I agree and I validate, or I want to add this thing. So again, this case study validation example has been a good practice, which we feel is something very energizing for the students and also for their parents and also for the faculty and also for the farmers. It's a win-win situation for everyone. So like this, this webinar is happening and we are showing whatever in the format that was provided to us. And so I go to the next topic now, which is the soil health card. So as we know, everybody knows that the soil is the most important ingredient, life form that we have now in this, and it is a very depleting, commodity. It is a very depleting, thing that is creating a really lot of problems because what we have been doing is to work on a entire district on doing digitizing the entire district agriculture fields, making an app to see what we to put all this digitization on an application which can be used by anyone who knows how to handle a smartphone, and then taking this process of doing the soil collection, the soil testing, and uploading the results on the application. And also simultaneously, once the results are uploaded, they are also sent as a message to the concerned farmer. And if he has got a smartphone, then it can also go in as a, as a PDF document to this thing. So I'm just cutting through. So the kit is called the Dharti Ka Doctor Kit. In the middle, you see the Dharti Ka Doctor. In the middle the row, the second bottom is this Dharti Ka Doctor soil testing machine. It's not a testing machine, it's actually a color sensor. So when the color sensor is of the various 5 nutrients are tested through this technique: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, organic carbon, and pH. And so once this testing is done, it gives the results in around half an hour. And so the colors are put on this machine. It is connected with the smartphone, and immediately the results are uploaded onto the internet. It goes as part of the soil health card and also goes to the farmer and through into our dashboard. So now this soil testing also we are doing. We have got a soil testing laboratory. This is the soil health card which is there, and this is the status of various nutrients in a village. So because of the digitization and the application of technology, we are able to find out at the village level what is the nutrient wise village map which is looking like. We find that organic carbon low, nitrogen very, very low. And this is color coded. Color coded, so it is low, very low. So we ask the farmer, when this map is a big map, 6 feet by 5 feet across. It is put when we have this village soil health card distribution, where we call the village, representative, the village pradhan, and the other interested farmers and whoever is interested. We start by discussing that you see in your village, your nitrogen is red. Now, red is something like the lights at the intersection. So when the lights are red, do you want to cross the road? Do you like to cross the road when the lights are red in a heavily, there is a lot of traffic? So obviously the answer is no. So we say the same thing is true for your soil. So if your soil is in red, whether are you interested to move it from red to green or to yellow or to whatever other color is there apart from red? Are you interested? Is there an interest? If you are interested, if they say yes, then you say, how will you do it? What will you do? So this kind of facilitative, discussions help the farmers and the stakeholders to move forward and go to some kind of a meaningful conclusion on the actions to be taken. The actions are more important, because what we found is that unless the action is there, that we give the soil health card, the government is giving soil health cards, but how many farmers are actually using it? So unless this awareness building is done at the village level, and there is an engagement with the various line departments and various agencies who are working on agriculture improvement, this thing will, the action may not be to that desired level. Even with this approach, there'll be an improvement, but maybe not 100%. So we are still learning and trying to see what we can do forward. This is this village map, and I have just put in the slide so that this village, when we pick up the soil, you see on the left hand side it's written Mrida Sangrahan Thali, which is the soil collection bag, and there's a barcode which is given. So this person who is picking up the soil from any plot of land scans this barcode, and immediately this details of the survey date, the sample date, the testing date, the crop name is something that we filled up, the soil surveyor, the soil collector, all this information is automated and comes to the application. And even the latitude, longitude is coming, and it is represented in the form of this pins, this red pins for that particular village. So no chance of making any manipulation, that the soil as was collected, when it was collected, and so on and so forth. So bring about a bit of efficiency in this entire process of the soil collection to the soil health card distribution and the soil maps is something that we have been trying to do. Now, we also give this kind of a village profile to the village headman, saying that the pH, organic carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, so many samples are very high, very low, medium, high, and so on and so forth, along with the general recommendations of what is to be done for convergence with the line departments, and what is it that we need to do, and continuously talk on the good agricultural practices from time to time with your farmers and in your village level meetings and in the various goshtis or meetings that we have from time to time in the village. So this soil health card distribution along with this village level map is an opportunity for the villagers to start discussing on what is it that they need to do, not that what we need to do, but what is it that they need to do on this part. So also we have been doing this trainings and programs for interns, for farmers, for government officials, various government officials coming in from time to time. And this is something that we do at our agriculture research campus. We also received a request from a Nagarpalika in Nepal to conduct this training on natural and organic farming. And so we conducted a 5-day training program, and based on the needs of the farmers and based on the needs of the Nagarpalika, the head who had requested us. So a very intensive 5-day training program we were able to conduct, and the sessions started every day from 9 a.m. and they continued till 10 in the night every day. And so I think this is because that there was a felt need and there was a requirement, and they felt that this is something that they want to learn. So our team went and facilitated and conducted the training for these people, and we are looking and reviewing what has been being done from time to time. Okay, this recognitions on the Javik India Awards was something that we got last year as a second prize. But very happy to inform that the farmers who got the first and second prize were our farmers who have been trained by us, who we had facilitated over a period of time. And we are also part of the Center for Excellence in Soil Research in Asia, this group as part of it. And I'll be attending their workshop in the coming days and bringing about the best practices on soil, management practices across the world. So these practices is something that we are also going to learn about, and also some of it which will be useful, we'll try to bring in for our own work also. We have been also been active on the social media on the Patanjali Farmer Samriddhi program and so on and so forth. So this is in brief what we have been doing so far. And I was looking at the time, it's 12, 45 minutes was given to me. So I thought I'll finish in the given time. So if there are any questions, any comment I
Yes,
would like to make anyone, I'll be
true.
very happy.
Pawan, first of all, my compliments to you and Patanjali for doing this wonderful initiative. I think, though I had discussed this with you earlier also, but I now today realized there's something marvelous thing which is going on, and which also positively affects our climate or Earth as such. Just one or two questions before we close up. The
Sure.
first is that if any farmer, or I say any FPO, wants to be in touch with you, or they want some of the things which you're doing at your place, they want to be part of it, or they want to gain from it, how do they contact you?
Well, they can be in touch. I can share the numbers of our team. I can share my number. There are several
Okay,
FPOs who have come in and who have been trained. There was a request from the state government of UP. So all the FPOs and the agriculture department people came in. We are also an NRO with the National Rural Livelihood Mission, National Resource Organization. So we have been doing
right.
the Krishi Sakhis on the soil testing. So it's very simple soil testing methodology, and this training program is also we are trying to do. And also this I would like to encourage that whoever is really interested in natural and organic farming should join our community of daily community and pose questions, because and they'll be surprised that they'll be able to the answers, most of the answers are being given by our farmers now. We feel that
Great.
sometimes we have become redundant. I mean, but we are facilitating, no, not a problem. So our farmers will provide different solutions to the questions that are posed, or at least they'll be posing further questions and further asking further questions. And as I said, two of our farmers, I have made a panel of farmers and given it to the national level, National Center for Organic and National Farming. I said, you choose these farmers, whoever you want to choose. So well, there's a list of 20 farmers I have given, a list of 10 of my staff, whoever they want to choose, pick and choose on the based on the language, Hindi and English, based on the topic that they are comfortable speaking in. So this panel of people is there to help and support, and we are there to provide. If anybody comes and visits us, we show them around. And this is only a very small, minuscule part of what Patanjali is doing, a very very minuscule. There are many other initiatives which are happening simultaneously, including the drug discovery. We have got the largest herbal
How can drones be useful in propagating organic farming?
well, it is a technology, sir, and I think drone has got its
Okay,
pluses and minuses. I think the government of
okay.
India, the recently on the 15th of August, the
Prime Minister announced
Prime
on
Minister
already.
has announced on the use of drones on the Krishi Sakhis particularly, which is these SHG
Great.
leaders. So I think very much technology is something which is going to drastically transform agriculture from
The last, yeah,
yeah.
the last question would be that generally during my field visits, I have heard from the farmers that it is very difficult to get the certification of organic farming from the concerned agencies. So, any tips on
Yeah,
that?
yes,
That
sir.
how can
Yes, sir. We are one of our agencies, one of our sister concerns, has been doing this
okay,
PGS certification, and we have been forming these self-help groups, these producer groups of these farmers to take up certification. And immediately now it is online. Every year for farmers who have completed 1 year, they can get the certificates immediately after 1 year. PGS Green certificate. So there is no problem at
Great.
all. There is nothing.
Thank you, Pawan.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for giving us your valuable time.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I and my organization over here wishes you all the very best in all the endeavors which you're going to make.
Yeah.
And wish you a very safe and fruitful journey to the Bangkok.
Thank you,
We will
sir.
come back, I think, next week again and see that how change makers and all of us can sit together and bring about a real change at the ground level
Absolutely.
amongst the farmers and the other communities which are engaged in farming.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Pawan, once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.